Hey, thanks for joining me here on the Do Business Better podcast. It's me, Damian Mason. I'll be your host. We're talking today about regaining your focus after 2 months of Blursday. Now, if you're listening to this podcast and it's the year 2021, it might be a distant memory, but a memory you will still have. If you're listening to it right now as we're recording it in spring of 2020, it's very pertinent because you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's been a terrible couple of months. I got home on March 12th from my travels, and Friday the 13th, all hell broke loose. The phone started ringing. It was nothing but clients canceling events. Everything started going haywire, and it probably happened about that same time frame for you too. Schools decided to go ahead and take 2 weeks off. Then it was 2 more weeks. Then it was the rest of the year. Normal folks with normal jobs all of a sudden were sitting at home, getting paid, not really supposed to do much, kind of supposed to work from home, but what's that mean if you can, if you actually have the ability? And all of a sudden, the days started melding into one another. I made the point 3 weeks in. I said, Lori, I feel like I'm Bill Murray in that wonderful movie that happened in Punxsutawney, allegedly, Pennsylvania, where at 6 a.m., the alarm goes off, and it's I Got You, Babe by Sonny and Cher. You know what I'm talking about, it's Groundhog Day. But it came worse than that, because after 2 weeks and 3 weeks of Groundhog Day, it became Blursday. I can't take credit for that. A friend of mine, John Stoffel, is the one who actually coined the term, or maybe he heard it somewhere, but he said every day has now become Blursday. And it's true. You know, I still wake up and get to work, but it's like, wait a minute, Lori, normally I'm looking at my calendar thinking about when do I get on an airplane again? So me more than many, because I'm used to being self-employed, have looked at every day having some degree of difference because I'm still doing work and I'm still reaching out to clients and I still have stuff on the calendar. But even for me, and a self-employed person that's used to working from home for 27 years, it started to be a real struggle. I bet it was that way for you too. I mean, even if we run our own business or if we don't, it started to get to where it was Blursday. So I've got this idea that we need to retool, we need to refocus, right? Because things are starting to open up. There's starting to be some optimism, some green shoots, some excitement about the future. As I record this right now on May 6th, there are still the debates and then the politicization, which seems like it'll never go away over if you want to open up, it means you want to kill people. And if you want to be in business, you should be fined. And then there's cases of small business people being actually ticketed and fined. And one person in Dallas got put in jail because she opened her hair salon. I'm tragically bothered by that because if you keep up with my stuff, you know that I have been a vocal, vehement proponent of let's open the economy. If you are compromised, I encourage you to stay home. But the rest of us need to get the economy working or we'll have no economy to come back to. I'm not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about your focus. We're here to talk about how you can regain your focus because the time is right. Whether it's next week or next month, it's going to be time to get back to work. And your professional self needs to be focused. It's been a heck of a booger for all of us, right? I made the joke that I know now why Grandpa Mason needed to look at the newspaper every day to know what day, date, and year it was. We've been there, right? Okay, 5 areas for you to apply your focus for maximum results, or at least to keep your head sharp and your mind from getting too crazy as we have had now a couple months of Blursday. Number 1, focus on your health. You know, I have a couple of good habits and I have plenty of bad habits. If you call drinking beer and smoking cigars bad habits, I call them happiness habits. But one real good habit I have is that I'm very active and physically exercise about every single day unless I'm traveling too hard to be able to make that happen. During this coronavirus shutdown, a lot of us have had time, and many of us have taken to the street, walking, running, exercising, and that's fantastic. But some of us have decided to go to the fridge one too many times and decided that our anxiety, our stress, our idle hands become instruments of consumption. Now's a real good time to regain your focus, and you can start with your health. You can look around and say, hey man, did I use this time to get better, or did I use this time to get flabbier? Did I use this time to get stronger and more mentally focused, or did I use this time to let myself go? Go for a walk. Turn your walks into runs. Do a set of push-ups. Go in the basement. Get out the exercise mat. Make it happen. You've got the time, and you would be amazed at your mental acuity and how it goes hand in hand. The best thoughts I ever have are after I'm exercising or while I'm exercising, and that's the best time I ever have my creativity. You'll find it's the same thing. It sharpens your clarity, and it helps your creativity. Number 2, focus on relationships. Number 2 thing for you to focus on right now as you're regaining your focus to move forward in the post-pandemic economic shutdown. This thing's going to be with us for a while. We don't know, but the main thing is you've got to be focused. And one thing that you absolutely must do is focus on your relationships. Every opportunity that you will have will arise from another person. We are humans. Whether we're introverted or extroverted, whether we like working with people, don't like working with other people, the reality is we work with other people, we work around other people, we work in a marketplace that is run by, and consumers are people, right? Everything about the economy is derived by people. Yeah, manufacturing matters, but those are goods. Those are manufactured goods for a consumer, which is a human. Your relationships matter, and they have probably taken a little bit of a downturn. Oh, yeah, you've done some Zoom happy hours, but is that really connecting? What about your customers? Are you doing outreach? Are you doing the things that cultivate deeper relationships with those that you serve or those that come and give you their money at your place of business? I know that some of my relationships have taken a little tumble. We've had some differences on my thoughts about reopening the economy, and some people believe that I'm wrong. I've generally discovered that those that are less in favor of it don't have a vested interest. Those that have a vested interest are much more proponents of let's get things to work. But neither here nor there. These relationships that are damaged, unfortunately, need tending to. If you keep up with my stuff, or if you read my book, which I hope you have, and if you haven't, it'd be a good time to pick it up, and it makes a great gift. A good way to get back your relationships with some of your clients is to give them a little feel-good gift. Hey, 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 yes, I'm huckstering my book, but after all, I'm the sponsor of this podcast. I can do that. To call it word of mouth is really an insult to the successful, established business person or professional. It really is word of reputation, well-deserved and well-earned through hard work and diligence. Your relationships probably boil down to folks know what they can count on from you, and they count on you to deliver that. And those are the kind of people that can help your business grow. I have been leaning on client relationships to get myself ready to go when this whole thing opens up, when I can start doing what it is that I do. Number 3 place for you to focus your energy, to regain your focus, to come out of the pandemic economic shutdown, not only surviving, but also in a position to at least start thriving once again. And it might take a couple of years, I understand that, is to focus on the things that you can control. I'm a festerer. I'm a high energy person. You probably are too if you run your own business. It's natural to look at the uncertainty and then fidget and then get festering. I'm not a fidgeter, but I am a high energy person that does not like the fact that I can't control what's happening. I can't control that now there's only 1 flight a day from Phoenix to somewhere else, whereas there used to be 9. I cannot control the weather. I cannot control whether the governor is going to make this decision or that. I cannot control what my clients are going to do in terms of their reaction. But I can control my marketing. I can control my spending. I can control my outreach. I can control my creativity. I can control the things that I do with my business to a certain degree, and so can you. Focus on the things that you can control and realize that you're doing the best you can with that. And I've actually discovered that there's a certain amount of peace in letting the other ones go, and it wasn't easy. It took me until, honestly, here very recently to realize that there's just some things that I can't do anything about, and it frustrates the hell out of me, and I'm sure it frustrates you too. Focus on what you control and apply your energy there, and at least you go to bed tired knowing you put in the good fight on the things that you could actually address. Number 4 focus to help you regain your focus as we get back into an open and normal or more normal economy. Focus on the completion. If you keep up my stuff, I've also discussed this. I don't know about you, but I headed into this economic shutdown and thought, all right, I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy that all meetings and conferences went away for the next 3 months, 4 months. I'm not happy about that. But I can tell you one thing. I've got so much stuff to get done, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to write my next book. I'm going to do this, and this. Well, the reality is I did get a lot done, and you got a lot done also. You've been busy, right? But you look back and you say, what the heck have I been busy doing exactly? Well, that's natural. It's normal. In fact, you probably now are understanding why retirees that were formerly very, very prosperous and efficient and productive individuals retire, and a couple years later you say, I thought you were going to do this in your retirement. I thought you were going to do that. Somehow they just don't get anything done. The point is, when you have no deadline, you tend to do just that, not get anything done on a deadline. I've taken to giving myself firmer deadlines and paring down the list of stuff that really has to get accomplished today. For me, it's been some media stuff, creativity stuff, and a new proposal that I'm working on, all the while maintaining client outreach to a certain degree so that we still are ready to roll when they're ready to roll. That's 4 things, and that's plenty, to be honest. And I would recommend that you find a few of those things that you said you were going to do and get them done. Once you cross them off the list, it is liberating. You sleep better, you feel better, and you say, why did I let that fester? Also, it might be time to just punt on some stuff and say, this is not going to happen. I've had 2 months and I didn't do it, so it's clearly not going to happen, and remove it. Takes care of the stress, and then you're done. Number 5 place for you to regain your focus after 2 months of Blursday. Focus on the future. It's been a challenging time. I've had a lot of setbacks, so have you. I'm sure you've lost money. I'm sure you've lost opportunity. Good friend of mine, guy that's a hog guy, was on my Business of Agriculture podcast. Talked about the lost revenue and the terrible situation in his pork industry. And he said, those pounds are never coming back. And what he's talking about is he's got pounds of pork that he was never able to sell, and they're never going to be able to be sold. And as sad as it is to think about that, you've got to realize they're never coming back. You got to go forward. So look at your business. Those dollars you were going to make in March or April, probably not coming back. The customers that you had on the hooks and ready to go, maybe they are going to come back. Maybe they're still going to be there for you. Can't say for sure. Everybody's going through this degree of uncertainty, and everybody's going through this challenging months and months of Blursday. But you can focus on the future. I know that my months have been a challenge, and my business has been absolutely torpedoed by all of this. But I continue to be optimistic when I look to the future, especially knowing that I'm focusing on my health, I'm focusing on my relationships, I'm focusing on those things that I can control, I'm focusing on completion, getting those things done that I know I can. And then when I think about the future, I say, now what can I do next? I'm only 50 years old. Doesn't matter how old you are. The main thing is there's a lot of years out there, a lot of days out there, a lot of good things to be done. I'm looking beyond May, beyond June, and what can be. I encourage you to do the same thing. So, talking about regaining your focus after 2 months of Blursdays, starting to be some green shoots, starting to be some brighter sunshine, starting to be some warmer days, some longer days, some more optimistic days. Unless, of course, you listen to the media. Then it's all about the death ticker tape and how we're all going to go under, etc., etc. I've been a vehemently vocal proponent of doing what we can to help small business people. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably are a small biz entrepreneur, self-employed, gig economy, freelancer. Even if you aren't, you owe it to yourself, your professional self, to regain your focus. Done being Blursdays. The days are starting to look a little different, aren't they? They're starting to feel a little different. Clients are calling. There's some more outreach. Now what happens on Tuesday matters because then tomorrow's Wednesday. You see, it's not all just the same day. We're not waking up to the Sonny and Cher song and a bed and breakfast in Punxsutawney. We're not dealing with eternal Blursday. I'm Damian Mason. I encourage you to regain your focus and get through all this. It's time to get excited once again and look to the future and do so with focused eyes. Till next time, it's the Do Business Better podcast.